Hi everyone. If you are a designer, an architect, or an engineer, or you are one who has been involved in submitting drawings for approval, you already know the pain, right? It gets so frustrating to hear a response like, kindly revise and resubmit, or even worse still, when you get a total silence response. My name is Sam Wanyuke. I have helped dozens of homeowners have their drawings approved efficiently. And so in this video, we are pulling back the curtains on why the drawings would get delayed or rejected. But most importantly, I want to share with you ways that can help you to have your drawings approved fast, efficiently, and with minimal back and forth. I'll also show you the insider tips, common mistakes that you need to avoid, and also a step-by-step process that you follow to have your drawings approved effectively. So whether you are new to this industry or you have been here for a while now, there's something here that will be able to help you to save days or weeks of frustration. So grab your coffee, hit the like button, and let's dive in. And before I share with you the reasons why the drawings could get rejected, I would want to share a checklist of the documents that you need to effectively have your drawings approved. In Kenya, approvals start at the county level and then they become escalated to the National Construction Authority, that is NCA. For single dwelling houses such as bungalows or maisonettes, NEMA would only apply for complex structures. And so, since our focus today is on single dwelling houses, I will only focus on the county and the National Construction Authority. So what are the documents that you need at the county level? The first document that you need is a copy of your title. If the title is not there, other legal documents would be required to show ownership. Besides the copy of title, you'd be required to have a copy of search that is less than 3 months old, and you'd also be required to have cleared your land rates. Of course, every county has its own ways of having the county rates, land rates cleared or payments made, but these documents will be very necessary for approvals. And of course, we can't forget the drawings and the licenses of the respective professionals that you are involving. Usually for bungalows, you not require the engineering drawings unless there are some engineering aspects that require such drawings. But for maisonette, you'll be required to have both the architectural and the structural drawings, and together with the licenses of these professionals. Aside from the drawings, the licenses, the copy of the title, the copy of search, the land rates, you are also required to have what we call a survey map, and this will be obtained from the Survey of Kenya. So apart from these crucial drawings, you will also be required to fill some documents that are obtained from the county, but these are usually filled by the professionals. We have the planning, we have what we call the PLUPA forms, the indemnity forms, and for engineering, you'll also be required to attach calculations that justify the designs. So all these details, all these documents, you'll be required to have them. But remember, for most counties, or for a good number of counties, the architectural approvals would be submitted first before the structural approvals. But it will be very important that you can be able to have the necessary documents ready even as I start. So the second checklist is on the NCA, the National Construction Authority. So again, you are also required to have the approved drawings now that have been approved by the county authorities. For the county authority, the drawings require to have a stamp of the professional, of the architect or the engineer who has been involved in our project. Now, taking it to the National Construction Authority, there is an additional stamp that you get from the county. So now these drawings will be considered to be approved by the county. And so you will be required not only to have the drawings that have been approved by the county, but also attach the licenses of these respective professionals, the architect and the engineer. Besides, at the National Construction Authority, you're also required to have an ID, a copy of your ID, your KRA certificate. You are also required to have a signed agreement between the developer and the various professionals, that is the architect and the engineer. Also, a signed agreement, a contract document between the developer and the contractor. A signed bill of quantities is required together with the license of a quantity surveyor. So all these documents are needed. I also forgot to mention that at the county level, when you are seeking for land rates, you'll also be required to have a copy of your ID. So ensure that these documents are made available from the start. This will help to minimize the delays that usually happen with the back and forth when you are having to be told, go and attach this, go and attach this, and that will save you so many days of approvals. Now, jumping in to reasons why your drawings could get rejected, or you will get responses such as kindly revise this and resubmit. There are a few key areas that you would need to look at, and I won't break that down on architectural and structural. So for the architectural drawings, ensure that the key requirements as guided by the National Building Code have been adhered to. There are instances where we required to show land surrender, especially where the road is narrower than 9 meters that is required. And so you'll be required to have a 1.5 meter surrender. Besides, there is the plot ratio that you are required to adhere to. And apart from that, you'll also be required to show the drainage. Kindly ensure that every detail of the architectural has been checked before you have them printed and submitted. Coming to the engineering side, I will talk about calculations matching the drawings. This is very fundamental. The rule of the thumb is that your calculations, or rather your drawings, should show that you have provided more than your calculations, or if not the same as what you have given in the calculations. If you provide less than what is in the calculations, then that would amount to a rejection. There is a recommendation by most counties to have your drawings followed up by a professional, an architect or an engineer. This reduces the pressure. It reduces the confusion because most of these professionals understand the comments that might arise or can easily explain the intrigues of their design. So one of the things that I would recommend is ensure at least one of the professionals follows up on your drawings, or one who is able to understand both drawings, the architectural and the structural. Again, for the structurals, you need to clearly show your calculations, but also you need to clearly detail every aspect of your building. I've seen some drawings that have been drawn from people on the street, and I can tell you they would not even meet the requirements that would be necessary to guide a foreman on site. Put yourself in the reviewer's shoes and ask yourself, would this be something that can be built? That is what they look at. Would this be something that will compromise the integrity of the building? Would this be something that would compromise the requirements of the codes? If you have all these checked, then you'll be home and dry. But I want to also add something that is very fundamental and very crucial in having your drawings approved effectively. And this is what we call follow-up. Ensure that at every stage, there is proper follow-up. Follow-up at the architectural approval, follow-up at the structural approval. In some instances, you'll be required to take the county officials to site to see to it that the land has not been built. So ensure you do adequate follow-up, be prompt, and take action immediately. This would help to avoid so many delays. I've seen people who just submit and forget and keep quiet. And at times, the documents get lost in some of these counties. So ensure that follow-up is done properly. Again, I have shared with you the checklist of the documents that are required. I can share with you a story of someone who was approving his drawings, and he was using some crooked people to approve his drawings, who ended up confusing him and even lying on some of the documents that were required, and yet they were not required. One of the documents that they say that is required is a change of use. This particular client paid a lot of money for the change of use, yet it was not a requirement. So ensure that you become enlightened and empowered so that you are able to effectively get your drawings approved, but also avoid such mistakes as the one that this person encountered. Now, finally, as we come to the end, I want to say this, that every drawing that is done is not done just for the sake of approval. Ensure that you build as per what you are approving. I've seen instances where people get the drawings approved in this manner, but when it comes to construction, they compromise. Remember ultimately that you are not having the drawings for the county. You are having these drawings for your home. And this home serves you as a developer and your future and your generations. So ensure that integrity is adhered. Avoid taking shortcuts. Avoid being lured to take the shortcuts without asking yourself, what is it that is being cut short? If you found this video to be very helpful, kindly subscribe, and you can share widely to other developers or other consultants that could benefit from this video. Thank you very much, and stay tuned in for more deep dives on how to build smart.